We're at the end of the line, the fourth line from the bottom, on Mem Aleph. It's a principle that we're learning here, that mekoyach atzmi could be giluyim in all kinds of different ways, giluyim not in beyoser. Because it's amshocha atzmis. Going up about 6 lines. So we can sort of relate to it on a hypothetical level. Atzmi is never exhausted. I was thinking that we can have a really tangible demonstration of the concept of this principle. On the very low level, as we pointed out many times, the low level is what enables us to understand the high level. And it's all reflective. The low level is reflective in the way the Onim al Maila. At the number of points now, Gashmi is a recipient for Oil Atzmi. What I was thinking to point to is a very simple thing. I mentioned the other day about the fact that on the ground you can build houses, 100-story buildings. The point to the atzmi element over here. What is the method of building? To build a building, you need an engineer. What does the engineer essentially do? If we could kind of put it in practical terms, you have an idea of what kind of building you want. The architect actually designs, I want the building to look like this. Like, for example, if you go to the JFK, there is the old TWA building, and it's built in wings. And there are a couple of wings sticking out on it. Okay, this is what he's imagining. Since we're talking about an airplane, make wings. But how are the wings going to stand in the middle of the air? So it's the engineer's job to figure out how to make it stand. And what is the basis of making it stand? Essentially, something that's standing flat down on the ground will stand because the ground will support it. If it stands on 4 legs, for example, it's not flat down on the ground, but the 4 legs emulate the basic flat stand. It's the same thing, except now it's standing. It's a design. And then you can put a single leg in the middle with a broader platform. That also emulates the very same idea. because that the ground has the essential union that it stands steady and it supports it. You can support whatever you put on it. You can put on it in all kinds of different designs, provided that the design emulates the flat design. Like a table, it has 4 legs, so it's like a flat design. It's supported on all sides. And if it's a wider base, the single leg, it's a similar thing. There's a balance. So here we have, so to speak, a tangible illustration of the concept that if you have a solid base, an atzmi, you can reveal its character in innumerable ways. And it's all pointing to the same source, to the same principle. This is the principle of Ashwa Atzmis. Ashwa Atzmis, there's the father and the son. The father, as we said the other day, we gave the example of the throw. You throw a ball, and the throw of the ball represents primarily what you're looking at is that the ball is flying in this direction. This is what you see. But really, underneath it, there's a force that just of movement. And it's direction independent. This is the base. This is the base, this is the chariot that came from the hand. That was now, so to speak, imbued and carries this ball. And it's direction independent. The same is in that what the father gives to the son, in from the tip. He gives him the highest, the essential being. How that develops is unpredictable almost. The reason it's unpredictable is because there is no limit as to how it can develop. Not only the which direction it can develop, but to what depth and to what great, how he will reveal the resource that's contained within it. It's brought down. Rashi says that Noach tiken v'klei machrisha. Noach, before Noach, laboring on the ground was really a very, very exhausting, very challenging thing. Noach, he prepared, he was the first one to design klei machrisha, tools with which to plow. And one of the things that it says that Noach recognized is the wheel. The wheel. Big invention. The whole world is rolling on this wheel. Enabling smooth movement without obstruction. Unlimited. The wheel that Noach designed was attached to a horse, or a donkey. But that is the very same wheel that is in the Lexus. Everybody knows what it's the same thing. In a completely different setting and a completely different richness of use. So that the son has an unlimited resource. Because he has a depth that is as we say all the time, literally godly. It's real. Like the ground stands and it supports. It's a real support. There is no limit. There's no direction. Okay. All right, so we'll start 4 lines from the bottom. In fact, we'll start from the beginning of the line so we have the whole introduction.
No direction means it's not limited by a context?
Right. Like we said the other day, what is the etzem hakoyach? What's the hispashos hakoyach? In order for us to perform, to walk, we have to have a direction. You can't walk without a direction. But the direction, this is the hispashtos of the koyach. The koyach itself is the koyach to walk. And that is unlimited. You can walk sideways, backwards, frontways. As a matter of fact, you can walk on your hands. Like Avraham behind us over here, right? Do you know how to walk on your hands? You're going to demonstrate for us? Okay. The fact that this etzem hakoyach, the fact that it comes through in hashpah gashmis, in physical hashpah, in a physical bestowment, it's given in a physical through a physical means. It should never be misunderstood that the physical means this is what is given, and this is what creates the entity. Just as we've discussed, what makes the plant grow is not the physical seed. It's not. There is a godly reality behind everything that occurs. So therefore, what's in the hashpah is hashpah atzmi is from the nefesh. In terms of our perception, I'm sorry, I'm going back because I want to make sure that we sense what we're talking about. In terms of our perception, what is, on a perceived level, what is the greatest gift that the Father gives to the Son? I don't expect you to respond. I want you to think for a moment. The will to live. What's so great about that? The will to eat a cup of ice cream? To live, the sense of what life is, the infinity of life. Right? So huh?
How does the Father give that?
This is what comes through in this is the nefesh. This is hashpah and atzmis. This is hashpah and atzmis. This is the human being at the level that we can perceive. This is within, but it's in a perceptible manner. As soon as the child crawls out of the womb, it's already active. Complains right away. One of the signs of a healthy child is when he comes out, he complains. He cries. What?
We have a healthy day.
You have a healthy day. All right. So the fact that this comes through Gashmis, a Hashpah Gashmis, contained in a Gashmistic means, or Gashmis means, never to be mistaken for the reality. Hu mipneish, it is because sheham shochas hu etzem hu v'dover Gashmik davke. Because that's a principle, that am shochas hu etzem, to give forth the etzem, is v'dover Gashmik davke. Only Gashmi can carry etzem, because Gashmi is, so to speak, purpose neutral. Doesn't have the this is one of the things, if I may diverge slightly, one of the things that confused the whole secular world. So you know what's the building block of the world? The atom. No, the subatomic apparent. That which has no message whatsoever. That is the real thing. It has not been construed to do anything. So there is, so to speak, an eon of truth to that. Not that a particle is the source of source. In this particle is reflected the godly presence. This particle doesn't make itself. This is its biggest idiocy. The particle wants to be. The particle wants to develop and secure its existence by joining other particles. You know who is the fool? Not the one who presents a foolish idea. The one who buys it.
So, just getting back to the physical is the only thing that could carry essence. It seems maybe from a previous perspective that physicality is the only level that says
Now what?
that really conceals things, because it says I'm here. It conceals its source by asserting its own presence.
It doesn't assert anything. It denies presence. There's no point.
Physicality denies presence?
Yeah. Denies significance of presence.
Denies. So again, okay, so it seems to make a stripped down presentation about itself then. No significance, just here it is.
It doesn't even present itself.
No, it just is there. And
that's why it can be a vehicle for atzmi.
That's why it can be a vehicle for atzmi. It's so.
Because atzmi is beyond definition.
Beyond meaning.
Well, what we say that the olam is lashon helen, there is a concealment going on.
The olam lashon helen is not referring to the essential gashmic particle. Olam lashon helen is the entire structure. Everything in the world is malim on the ruchnius. The sun rises. No, the sun doesn't rise. The earth tilts.
That's not what we're talking about.
No. The earth will tilt. I mean, something happens as a result. It's malim oir.
And this tipo, which is here the transport of essence, elsewhere it's called, the putrid drop. Know where you came from? I think it goes.
To the Srucha.
Yeah, to the Srucha.
Right. If you are going to focus on your worldly presence, you're miti pasuch. You take this neshama that was imbued in you, and the koiches on that which can go with unlimited supremacy, and you pursue it and perceive it from a Gashmisika perspective. Now this whole force, this whole huge power was imbued in this little two people, and look what I did with it. It did a besrucha.
In this union in Gashmis, so I hear like two things. One, that since it has no content, no significance, there's nothing to conceal. There's no concealment or distraction from when we had some Indian that's Minsha. There's no. And that's like the Indian of God. Then there's a second Indian that the Gashmi is like as a dugmius, is like a degem, like a dugmius to atzmi. In that it has no content, just presence.
That's correct.
It's a dugmius to add. So are they the same exact Indian? Or is one totally on the other? Or it's two Indian?
No. This is the same exact thing. Now, the Rebbe explains in Tanya that Gashmius is pointing to Atzmus. That the koyach to create a Gashmi that totally defies any source. Is only bekoyche wie gold in libri yashmiya in befasach bechut. Okay. Yesh al zeh kama dugmois. So the Rebbe doesn't further elaborate on this. You have to understand. Okay, I just want to. We are elaborating on this theme. I'm sure with over Gashmi Dapki and so forth. The Rebbe doesn't elaborate. There are many things that are presented in Chassidus as such, and he doesn't break it down into seichel, so to speak. And the reason for that is that, as we speak all the time, seichel is a living perception that a human being has. And it is important that we relate to things from the seichel perspective rather than from the logic perspective. Dover Gashmi, and Etzem is Nimsha Dover Gashmi Nafki. And then we have illustrations of that. To indulge in defining it logically and so forth, yes, you can do that once you sense the reality of it. But first you have to sense the reality of it. There are many illustrations and examples for this. The whole Dovar Hanala B'Yesir, the Gmois are on a very broad platform. That everything that is Hanala B'Yesir, that is supreme and very, the higher the thing is, Harei Bo Lamata Yesir. The higher it is, it comes and it manifests itself on the lower level. Bilvush Gashmi Yesir, and further and more coarse Gashmizlike garment. Okmoi Aryeh V'Shoir. As for example, aryeh, a lion, v'shoir, and an ox. The noida, where it is known, the pnei aryeh el hayamin, that the pnei aryeh in the Merkava, in the chariot, there is pnei aryeh, pnei sheir. The pnei aryeh is el hayamin, is on the right, which is l'mayla b'madregi b'pnei sheir, which is a high madregi b'pnei sheir, which is on the left. Or lamato, but then as it translates, he be below. Hare hashoir hu behemat heira. The shoir is a kosher behemat. Or makribim eisa al gabe hamizbeach, it says. Yeah, and you can offer it on the mizbeach. What can be holier than that? Shenase reach nichoyach la'avaya, and then it becomes reach nichoyach, a pleasant odor. It becomes a lakus. This is pnei asher. The aryeh, and on the other hand, the way aryeh translates in the world, hu chayot tmeya. It is an impure an animal, shetoiref v'doiris. That tears things apart with doiris and treats on things and poisons them, kills them. Or be'emes, in truth, we have a minute, he hanoisenes, that in fact the contradictory principles over here, the dilemma over here, hanoisenes, that is its own answer. Because the aryeh is on a high madrega l'maylo, it's impossible that this high madrega should come down even through river above its tens of thousands madregas, that from that should result a chayot heira. In other words, that it should come into the world, and in the world it should fit as a superior thing. This superior thing cannot be translated on the worldly level in any which way. Ki'im dafka, only chayot meya haterev, an impure chaya haterev that hunts and tears things apart. And even that, the fact that it comes from Pnei Aryeh El Haimin, from that comes and Chayot Meyo here in this world, it's still a Chayot, it is not a direct translation. It is actually a fall, a breakdown of the spirit that results in the Chayot Hilamat. This we'll discuss in Mitzvah tonight. Okay, tonight is Thursday night, and we'll have our share. Have a good day. Well.